So is this, I mean, there's also, this is my favorite.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you before I say it that it enraged me. There is a definite anti-white feeling in the country right now.
Oh, please.
Yeah, that's what he said. You know, sir.
No. Sir.
Yeah, sir. Nobody in your family was hung.
Is that a justification for the anti-white sentiment, or it doesn't sound like so far that you're trying to refute the take. You're justifying it. Joy Behar, why don't you stop this stupid Democrat Party game where you worship the overweight black woman? Why are we doing this? Who's doing that? Who's behind that? It is the most cringe thing in politics right now. Even worse than the blacks are the white people who pretend it's either an overweight black woman or, and I'm doing this for educational purposes and discussion, YouTube. It's not, YouTube conflates this stuff with bullying. This isn't bullying. This is talking about our culture right now. Why do you do this stupid stuff with an overweight black woman pretending like everything they say is just the gospel? It's either an overweight black woman or a gay black man.
Nobody in your family was chased because of the color of their skin. How dare you? There's no anti-white issue here. You are perpetrating anti-humanist issues here. So the question...
And they're just incompetent. They're stupid as hell.
Is he the future? Is he the future? Well...
Do you see why I have gone straight up against the blacks? Just straight up, openly. I don't like... If anyone has a problem with what I'm saying here, you are who I'm talking about. I want peace. You stay away from me, I'll stay away from you. But this is, without these people running around, none of this would be happening. The Democrats wouldn't have the power that they have. Joe Biden wouldn't have the power that they have. Now, maybe somebody else would. I'm not saying the country would necessarily be perfect. But the situation we're in now that Tucker Carlson's talking about with this anti-white sentiment, it's impossible without them. And there's a lot of people like her, believe it or not. It's disturbing. And let's take a look at this interview with Jeremy Carl.
Is tearing America apart. He joins us now. Jeremy, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks so much for having me.
It may
Tucker.
be an advantage or maybe a disadvantage of being a little bit older that this is like the one thing you never thought, or I never thought you would see in America, which is our leaders openly attacking people on the basis of their race just 60 years after the Civil Rights Movement that supposedly taught us the opposite lesson in the Civil Rights Act. So how did this happen, do you think?
Well, it's an interesting question, right? And I think you just hit on a key point, which is 60 years. We are as far now from the Civil Rights Act as they were basically from the Wright brothers. So there's been a lot of time that's kind of got a lot of water under the bridge since that time. And a lot of things have happened. And I think it was begun with very sincere intentions. But I think rather quickly, certainly, 10, 20, 30 years down the line, it got hijacked to the point that we went from trying to treat people equally to what has eventually amounted to reverse racism.
We'll see where Tucker goes with this, but the government is not God. The government is not an entity that can force people to adjust their preferences. People have preferences that are instinctual, that I am worried about this. I see somebody in a hoodie, whether it's white, black, or whatever, I'm going to cross the street. I see this, or those are all natural, and it's okay. I have no problem if I'm walking down the street and somebody says, "Oh, I don't know about this right here." I'm good with you. I'm good with that. I don't have a problem with that. You can't stop. We are all humans. So there's different things we can do to kind of, ensure that we are living in a society that respects each other. So I'm not advocating for disrespect, definitely not advocating for, the line is when you violate my rights. It doesn't matter why it's done. But I want to understand, I want to see if Tucker goes to the God. Government can't write a bill that forces people not to discriminate. Why would we think that the government could do something like that? How do you know if somebody's in a job interview, if they said no to you because of the color of your skin or anything else? How do you know that? If they write it down, maybe. Even then, you don't know for sure, but you can pretty much go by that because I can write down whatever I want and it's a lie or whatever. And if you're in a job interview, just using that as an example, there's multiple things that people write down. And obviously right now, people don't write stuff down because they don't want that on record. They don't tell you the honest truth because the government stepped in and said, you can't do this, you could get sued. But they didn't stop anything. The government didn't stop anything. They just got you now to hide your preferences and what you've seen. That's the problem. We cannot put something on the government that makes it into God. And now we're seeing with Title IX, they're expanding it to the belief, the religion of whoever has power. The Civil Rights Act is trending towards every single person is covered except for if you are a populist. If you believe that power should be distributed to as many people as possible, that means power should be taken from those who have it, then you are, and that's obviously MAGA is the strongest group in there, but America First, if you are in that group, it doesn't matter if you're gay or black or whatever, you lose the civil rights part and you can be openly discriminated against.
Right. Or just, I guess I would just call it racism because it seems like the standard would remain the same no matter the race of the person being discriminated against. You can't attack people. You can't punish people for the color of their skin, for how they were born. So like that seems like a pretty easy principle to uphold. It's pretty straightforward.
No, it's not.
Well, I would agree with you, Tucker, but it's, nonetheless, we're really seeing throughout, and this is what I really wrote the book about,
Tucker face.
Many different areas of endeavor, and whether that be when we're looking at how
Tucker does that Tucker face. That wasn't it. He just changed that. Where is it? Tucker, he was doing Tucker. That's basically Tucker face right there. Tim Pool did the video. I forgot the name of the song, but the music video where he did Tucker face. He's concentrating. He's really into his interviews. I don't know what he's talking about. How is it easy to determine if somebody's being prejudiced or not or discriminated or not?
Tucker, but it's, nonetheless, we're really seeing throughout, and this is what I really wrote the book about, throughout many different areas of endeavor, and whether that be when we're looking at how crime gets talked about, to what's going on in Hollywood, to the educational system and monuments coming down and everything you could imagine. Kind of the white person is kind of the great enemy. It's the kind of the evil guy in 1984, the kind of 2 minutes of hate we have to have against him. The Emmanuel Goldstein figure kind of is the white person in particularly the Democratic Party's discourse today.
I'm still struggling with this now, and I have to reset all my takes on it. I know the classic, Dr. Carlin Borisenko, and she's way more of an expert than me. I'm not well read at all in this stuff. And James Lindsay, I think at least Dr. Carlin Borisenko is who I would go to on that more. I'm more on her side on these things now than even James Lindsay. I would say that she says that really it's not an attack on white, it's an attack on capitalism, and they're using white as kind of the symbol, is my understanding. And I understand that, but there's something that's just not landing right for me with that. I agree because obviously I would be considered in their whiteness, and I don't have white skin. So it's something else. It's not really white hate. It's like they're using the white identity to do something else, and it can come across as white hate, but it's almost like I don't know if they really. They don't hate Joe Biden now. They're going at him with a little bit with the pro-Palestine protests, but generally speaking, they have white people in their protests too. I think it's a control mechanism, but I just don't. None of the explanations that I used to say and that I hear right now really resonate with what I think the answer is.
Middle MAGA.